Hi there, this is Shalon Day with Bible Journaling Ministries Creative Team. And today I want to show you how to create just a beautiful, colorful background using acrylic paints, a stamp, some stamping ink, some glitter, and the beautiful Romans 12:2 kit. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. And I am using this beautiful kit for Romans 12:2. Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind so that you may prove what is the good, well-pleasing, and perfect will of God. So let's take a look at our kit. These beautiful butterflies and mushrooms. Oh my goodness, I love this kit. It's one of my favorites. So the first page, of course, has our margin element or bookmark, our washi tape, all of these beautiful images are tabbed, bigger hearts. The second page, of course, has our Faith Dex cards, more elements, tags, washi tape. And then our third page, of course, has the larger elements, but it also has these very large, beautiful words and different sizes of hearts as well. So this is the kit that I'm going to be working with today. And before we get really into our journaling, I wanted to share with you, because I have seen sometimes that people have asked in the beginners group about especially study Bibles. And of course, my She Reads Truth is my momentum. Or maybe you have a Bible that you've already journaled a particular verse on and you want to journal another. So I have done that. So this is where my Romans 12:2, and though I have not journaled this particular verse, I have journaled on this page. As I turn my page, it has one of the devotions here. And so I am actually going to just cover this with white acrylic paint and give myself a clean palette here. And so I'm going to paint this, let it dry, and then we're going to get started on our journaling. Okay, so since I am going to be working with, and certainly not as thick, different mediums in this tutorial, I have decided that I am just going to take a piece of cardstock or copy paper, I think, just copy paper, and cover this page so as not to damage any more of my journaling on the back side. So let's do that. Okay, so after trying two different ways of painting my page, it has activated on the opposite side and messed up some of my journaling on the other page. So I have decided to just take a piece of copy paper and cover this page. So I just took my copy paper, and luckily my pages are the width of my copy paper. So I just laid it to the side and bent it, folded it, so that I can use my paper cutter to cut along the side. And I'm going to come in just a little bit so then I can use washi tape and attach my page. So I'll get my paper cutter. Let's get this out of the way. And I will just line this up. And come in just a little bit from my fold. So here's my fold. I'm just going to come on this, the left side of it. So sometimes we just have to adapt, right? Sometimes we have to work with what we have and go with it. So that is what I am doing. So I think instead of making a tip in, because I really want to cover this whole page, I'm going to use double-sided tape, or my tape runner here. And I'm not being precise because I want to cover the whole page, so it doesn't really matter as long as it sticks to the page. I don't really want it to lift anywhere either, so I'm going to take my perfect edge here and try to get it as close as possible to the bottom and the edge as possible. Then work it in towards my gutter here. Okay. All right. Okay, so that worked. That worked. Very good. All right. So now I have a clean palette. Now I am going to choose the colors that coordinate with my kit of acrylic paints. And I love to use acrylic paints in my journaling because they are so versatile and they don't bleed through on my pages. I don't gesso, so I will show you which colors that I have chosen according to the color palette on this kit. All right, so I have chosen a bright blue, a very bright pink, almost a lemon yellow, a neon green, and a beautiful turquoise color to use. So again, Americana acrylic paints, Bluebird, Flamingo, Lemon Zest, Coastal Waters, and Chartreuse. Now, you will need something to put your paint out on. So of course I've got my trusty little plate here. Just going to move these out of the way. And you can choose anything that you have lying around. You could use the end of a paintbrush that is rounded if you'd like. I'm also going to incorporate using bubble wrap. I'm going to use bubble wrap. I am going to use a card. I'm also going to use a sponge or a dauber here. I'm going to incorporate a stamp that's just little curly cues, some black ink, and just some glitter that I have lying around. And we are going to transform this blank piece of white copy paper that we added into the Bible into a beautiful work of art using acrylic paints, things that we have lying around the house to create different effects, and our kit. So I am going to start with my lemon zest, my yellow paint, and I'm just going to squeeze a little bit out onto my plate. And I'm going to use one of my cards to just pick up a little bit of that paint. And then I'm just going to scrape along my page just to add some color. Okay. So that will be enough for now. Wipe off my card. I'm just playing with colors, just play, and meditating on transforming my mind and what that means, and how God is so good in helping us to remember through His Spirit. The Holy Spirit helps to remind us, right, to stay focused and to renew our minds by staying focused on the Lord. So I'm going on to Coastal Waters, this beautiful turquoise color. And I'm going to take a card, and I'm just going to put paint on the end of it. Now I'm not scraping the paint, I just want it on the end. Okay, so now I'm going to come over here and I'm just going to use that to make some lines. Okay, so I'm just going to leave that for now. I'm going to dry this because as I move along, I don't want to pick up any wet paint. So I'm going to dry it. And again, just using a blow dryer. So that may not be completely dry, but it's dry enough. And I'm going to choose a different color. Let's choose the blue. So Bluebird. Now I'm going to take just a very small brush, and it's very soft. I'm just going to get the end of it and then sort of brush it off, or, you know, tap it off. And then I'm going to use these colors, or this color, just to add. Okay. So I'm trying to show you how you can use so many different things to get different effects as well. Okay, so I added the yellow first, then the turquoise with my card, and then I just added some splotches of blue on my page here. Now, I did the blue with a brush, just a paintbrush. Now I am going to use some more of my turquoise, but instead of using the paintbrush end, I'm going to just use the tip end because it is a circle. So I'm just going to dip that, and then I'm just going to make some dots. So I made my dots, and as you can see, the way that my brain kind of works is that I went along the edges of where the darker blue, and some I did 3 and some I did 4, but I made those dots. And the paint is a little thicker, so it actually kind of has a little bit of a peak on it, which if you had texture paste, you could actually mix some of that and create that same effect with your texture paste, but I don't have any, so I can make some, but I just chose not to here. Now, as I let this dry, I'm going to move this aside just for a minute because I just want to take some bubble wrap, and I want to use, let's use this pink color, but also the chartreuse green. I'm going to keep my paintbrush handy because I'm going to use it to paint the bubbles on this bubble wrap. So I'm just going to pick up some paint, and I'm just going to paint very lightly the bubbles on top of here. Okay. And you can do this in as large of an area as you would like, or as small of an area as you would like. Some of my bubbles have been popped, so they don't have any air in them. So I'm just going to go around those sections because it will just add to the effect that I'm going for. I'm going to clean my brush. And I'm going to pick up the pink and go ahead and go around the green. But I'm going to make my own pattern with my paint, because when I turn this over onto my page, it will give it a different look and a patterned look, like you meant to do it. So even though those are popped, I'm just going to hit those with pink, and just a few around that are green. I'm going to hit them with the pink as well. Okay. All right. So I made sure that at least my dots were a little drier, but I'm going to take my bubble wrap that I just painted, and I'm just going to turn it over. Let's get my page protected. Oh, no, it's okay. We can deal with that. And I'm just going to turn it over now and very lightly press on my page with my bubble wrap. And then just very lightly pick that up and then move it. Okay. Now, if you need to add paint, which I might need to add paint, but I'm going to try it this way. Okay. Now it gives you a different effect. Yes, there we go. All right. I'm going to put my bubble wrap aside. Now I want to let all of this paint dry very well, and then I will come back and I will show you how I don't have like embossing ink or embossing powder, but I'm going to show you how I use a rubber stamp, regular ink, and glitter to, and you have to be quick to add glitter onto your page using that rubber stamp and ink. So let's give this just a little bit to dry, and I will be right back. So I'm all dry. My page, my paint, everything is dry. I have placed copy paper under my Bible here because I'm going to be adding glitter to my page, and so then I can pick my Bible up and dust off the glitter onto this page and put it back in the container. So I'm going to take my little curly Q rubber stamp, and I'm not even sure where I got this, but it is a Stampabilities brand rubber stamp, and then Versacolor Just Black ink. So you want to put the ink on your stamp pretty heavily because you want it to be wet, and you'll have to have your glitter opened and ready to place onto your page. Okay, you got to move fast because obviously this ink will dry pretty quickly. So I'm just going to pat my stamp with the ink, and I'm pressing sort of hard with my ink, and I don't want the whole page covered, so I'm just doing a little bit of my stamp, but I am putting it on there pretty thick. So now I'm just going to stamp, and then after I pick it up, it's still wet. I'm going to add my glitter, pretty thick. And then I'm just going to lift my Bible and get that off. So I don't know if you can tell. Let me get this glitter put back in here so that I don't have a mess. Even though I made a little mess right there and missed my paper, that's okay. Just take a wipe and get that up. Now I'm just going to go ahead and stamp this off to clean my stamp. But I want to do this again. So I'm just going to set myself back up again. And I think on this one, I don't know if you can tell, so the black ink became purple glitter. Okay, so I'm just going to do this again. Okay, so we have this dry, and I've cleaned up my glitter, and so if you can tell, there is some glitter on, and instead of black, now it is purple because that's the color of glitter that I used. So now I'm going to use my kit here, and because I don't have the reverse on this page, I am going to use this margin element on this side where I don't have my glitter and my stamping. And I'm going to use it also in the gutter, just as added protection of my page there. I'm going to put it into my gutter first and then smooth it out this way. So now I have, and I don't have to write anything, I don't have to do any lettering or anything like that because I used this beautiful margin element or bookmark. And now I'm just going to add some of these beautiful butterflies, and oh my goodness, I think I'm going to use this word as well, transform. What a beautiful reminder. Just transform. You could go ahead and use the rest of these words. I just love transform. And I'm going to use renewing. I just love all of the bright colors. I'm going to put this sideways here. And you could go around your words with either a Posca pen or an acrylic paint marker or even just a black marker of some sort. I'm going to refrain from that because it's right over my glitter, although an acrylic paint pen would be okay to do that with, or a Posca. So that is totally up to you. I just love all of these butterflies. Oh my goodness. And you can add more, but I just really love, one, I love the background, and I like to be creative and use different effects and different tools that I have on hand. I hope that you have enjoyed this just a simple creative entry and using this gorgeous kit. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to use this in other places as well. If you enjoyed this video, please, please, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to click the subscribe button, turn those notifications on so that you do not miss a thing. Thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you again soon.